Standards at the Department of Labour. Very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Ayanda, and good morning to your listeners.
Let's do a little bit of number crunching now. Will you tell us what figure we're looking at now in the minimum wage for domestic workers?
After extensive consultation, yes, the minister has adjusted minimum wages for domestic workers. And for domestic workers who work more than 27 hours per week, the current minimum wages, no, for the 1st of December, their minimum wages will be 2,065 rand. That is in Area A. Area A is those big metropolitans, urban towns, so to say. And in rural towns, small towns, it will be 1,812 rand. Then we've got also workers who are working less than 27 hours per week. And in Area A, which is your big metropolitans, their minimum wage per month will be 1,450 in Area A. And in rural towns, small towns, it will be 1,284.
Why do you make that differentiation between the workers in rural areas and the ones in the big metropoles?
That is determined by the economics of these towns. And that is determined also by the demarcation board. What they did, they looked into the economics of each, the big towns and the small towns, and the income of the communities there. And those are the factors that determine the difference between the rural and urban towns.
We know cost of living is extremely high, and by the looks of things, it just keeps on increasing. How do you determine and reach a figure and settle on, for example, as you said, 2,065 for those in your larger cities, 1,812 for those in the rural areas, for people who work over 27 hours? How do you come to that figure?
First of all, we conducted public hearings where employers in the sector and employees were given the opportunity to state what kind of figures or minimum wage should be introduced in the sector. But also, you look at the economics of the sector. For example, your profile, the employers' profiles and employees' profiles. If you look at the sector, many people think the sector is dominated by your wealthy cities only, like Sandton, your wealthy cities, so to say. But also, majority of domestic workers are employed by your civil servants, police, nurses, teachers. You look at their income. That's how you come to this minimum wages, because you don't want to introduce a minimum wage that will cause unemployment and employers cannot afford. These are the over and above that, the minister is also advised by a committee of experts, and the committee of experts is made up of professors and people from labor and employers also. They are sitting, and it's called the Employment Conditions Commission. They look at the context that I've given you and come up with a figure that is relevant, that employers can pay, but also workers can also, the standard of living can improve.
Yeah, indeed, because you have to try and balance the equation between those who are saying we need to make sure that we do continue to employ people. As the employer, some of us are battling to keep the worker there, so they must make sure that they're able to pay their own costs, and as well as the living standards and the domestic help that they receive in the house without compromising the jobs, but also making sure that they are remunerated accordingly for the services that they render, because they do work really hard. But thank you very much for joining us. From the Department of Labour is Stephen Rathai, Director of Employment Standards there. Thank you once again for joining us.
Much appreciated. Thank you.